Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Tony Commander J.R. Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. Today is November the 22nd. Let's get into my lesson. Let me put my topic up so you all can see what we're going to be talking about today. My topics are 1. Senator Darius Dillon talk. 2. Freezing Liberia's wealth continues unabated. And 3. What's the plight of Liberia's youth? Let's get into my lesson, ladies and gentlemen. I was listening to Darius Dillon this morning as he set to reveal his salary and that of other legislators or so-called lawmakers in Liberia. We have a problem. We have a very serious problem. When our leaders cannot even tell us what their salaries are. This is the problem. And this is the height of incompetence. the height of ineptitude, the height of worthlessness and uselessness of the lawmakers and so-called legislators. They pack all those war lords and war criminals in our legislatures, and they expect us to have a country that functions as a civil society. How can that be? How on earth can that be? It can't be. So here's the fact. Now, our senator from Monterey County, Darius Dillon, has been a senator since August. He won the by-election to replace a deceased lawmaker. So since he's been there, until now, he hasn't taken pay. And if you listen to him, he tells us it is not the fault of anybody, but there's no money in the country. No money in Liberia. So our bank is empty. Our country is bankrupt. And we are on the brink of sheer destruction. What happened to our country? What happening to our country? It's a sad situation we are in. A whole nation of over 4 million people can hang for a single penny in the central bank of Liberia. That is a serious problem. So now we got senators, representatives running around the town getting paid, and they can't tell people the truth of what they're getting paid. Why? Because they know they're stealing. They know the money they're getting. If the Liberian people hear it, they will go crazy. Our people can't eat. Our nation is like a slum, nasty and dirty. These useless not military, these useless leaders, slum people, Sony Wen, Slipway, Gibraltar, Nukuta, all the places, these people come from those places. Then they come to take over the leadership of our country. And they're running our country like Sony Wen, Nukuta, Slipway, and the bypass and all the places are banking institutions for the Liberian people. But this is what happens when we take people from the slum and make them leader. No matter what kind of accomplishments you have, if you don't have college degrees, you're not qualified to lead the Liberian people. You're not qualified to lead Liberia, period. So all you buffoons wanting to be a football player and thinking that would give you access to the presidency of the Republic of Liberia ain't going to happen after George Weah. Because we got to come to the consciousness of what our country is worth to us. What our country is worth to us. Even if we don't worth buffoon, if we don't worth the soul we eat, even if we don't even worth the kisawali and fufu and tokbagi and yamayama we eat, what does Liberia worth to you? Do you see it as a home? Do you see it as a safe haven where you can leave the world and come back to Liberia and know you have a home and people. What is Liberia worth to you? For those of you Liberians who haven't left Liberia, you will not understand the in-depth message that I'm sending out. Because when you haven't left Liberia, you haven't experienced the world. You see, and that's why we need good roads in our country. We need to connect our country with Ivory Coast and Ghana and Guinea and all these places. Because when our nation is connected with other nations, that gives our people the opportunities to travel, to see other people, to see how they live, how their countries are developed, how they interact with each other. And these are things our people need to learn. Because when we're exposed, we are wise enough to ask the questions that matter in our lives. What happened to our money? How we can have running water? Why the toilet? Why we gotta keep going outside to use the WC to bathe in the outside toilet and all kind of bathroom, outside bathroom? Why? Other people improving the lives of their people. What happened to Liberia? That is because we are not challenged to travel, live among other people, see what they're doing, see how they're living, their levels of advancement. If we have not experienced all these things in our country, we'll be blind to all the stupidness our legislators and leaders are telling us to deceive us, to give them more access to our wealth and resources. But these are the challenges we face as a nation and the people who have existed for so long under unsavory circumstances, under corruption, deception, and lies. Why? Because in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's a true philosophy. Everybody needs leadership. And we'll go right back to the same thing time and time again. Leadership matters. And yet, Derek Dillon is telling us that people in our legislature can't tell us truthfully how much they're making. That's a problem. If our lawmakers are not sincere enough to tell us that they're taking home a bundle of our money, that if they tell us, we become agitated, mad, pissed off that they're stealing the wealth of the Liberian people. Our people cannot get paid. Our people have no access to provide for their families and themselves other than the little check they get from the Liberian government. And our leaders continue to rip our banks, our coffers, our bank, our coffers, and all our institutions of monetary lending. How will the Liberian people survive? How will we move forward? We can't. And these are the things our nation and our people are suffering, have been suffering, and are still suffering. Even worse, you heard Martin Cully telling us how this administration is the worst in the history of Liberia because of the unaccountability, the massive stealing. How can these people continue to lead us under these circumstances? That's a challenge. It's a challenge for all of us. It's a challenge for all of us because leadership matters. It brings us back to the same point about leadership time and time again. Leadership matters. And yet, Darren Della there, people lying and spreading all kind of thing about how much he's getting. You got Akaris Gray and all these useless people coming up and deceiving the Liberian people, telling them they're carrying home 8,000, 10,000. When in reality, these people are ripping our country off. And not only are they stealing the money through misappropriation of the funds, they are stealing it by having all these events and occasions and giving people per diem, letting them go sleep in hotels 1 mile away from the capital city where they can drive there, leave the meeting, and drive back home. But they go there, rent hotels, spend thousands of dollars, sit down, eat, drink in a hotel, and put a bill on the government's account. And what is even worse, they pay themselves for sitting down and drinking and sleeping and having fun on a poor nation's economy. What happened with our people? Are we crazy? Are we just lunatic? Or the war and the Ebola and all these sicknesses just got us confused, lost, betrayed? What's our plight? We have to take note of what's happening to us in our lives. What's happened to our nation? What's happening to our leader and his people? Because leadership matters. Now, Darius Dillon has exposed the full salary of these people. Can you imagine? These people making $15,325 US dollars every month. Can you imagine? If one Liberia dollar, it was almost 200. If one US dollar is worth almost 200 Liberian dollars. And these people carrying 15,000 plus home every month. They're stealing from us. They are living an elite style. This is an oligarchy. This is a small group of people just ripping up off, and they want to stay there for life. They don't want to change the terms of their leaderships. Representatives staying, these useless, dumb idiots staying as representatives for 9 years. What can these people bring to the Liberian people? These people term needs to be reduced to 4 year. 4-year terms. And they can pursue re-election. And we got to set an age limit. Yes, you can pursue re-election, but when you reach 65, 70, you're out. Your mandatory retirement. Give somebody else a chance. Okay? Because there are certain positions in our legislature and governmental institutions where we need people with experience. People with good knowledge. And all of that comes with years of working in the system, working on the job, and being able to relate to these circumstances and these people that work and cooperate with others in institutions that take care of the life and livelihood of the Liberian people. So all these things are significant to us. Okay? So if these legislators for 9 years be getting $15,000, and like somebody mentioned, I think that was Samson Doe on LR, Liberian LPR, Liberian Public Radio. I think he mentioned if these legislators are almost 100 plus representatives and 100 plus senators, and these people getting each $15,000 a month for 9 years, why wouldn't our country be bankrupt? Why wouldn't our people be starving and suffering? Why wouldn't our people be living in slum and feces infested waters? Every time the water rises, even the drinking water not safe. How you have wells with feces water all around the well, and you expect those things that are sipping into the well? So our people are drinking impure water, contaminated water, dirty water, because water seeps through the concrete, the ground, and everything. So if you're digging a well with the hopes of getting fresh drinking water, and the people who are your leaders are stealing from you so much that every time it rains, the whole area around your well full of with dirty water, slum water, from the same places you all go to defecate, to poo poo. If you're going to poo poo behind the houses, in the dirty water, in the creek, in the what, behind the house, and all this kind of thing, when the dirty water comes, you expect the thing to be floating in the water. You're walking in every day. I see the Malay children, when all that place get full of water, the little children just walking through it. Is that the life we want for our people and country? So our people lives are in danger, not only from hunger, not only from the evils and recklessness of this regime, but just from the health of the environment. Walking in feces water, no health care in our nation, paper cut can kill you. We are in a dangerous situation. If we won't come home, most of us got problems too. We all men. Every day you wake up in the morning, something new wrong. But we won't come home. We can help. We can teach. We can raise the consciousness of our young people. Teach them how to advance in businesses, administration, and different things to protect our nation and our people. But under these circumstances of the massive fleecing or stealing of the wealth and resources of our country, our people can continue to exist like this. And the part about it, only a few people enjoy. Okay? Now let's go back to these people' salaries. They're getting $15,325 US every month. Darius Dillon broke this down. He said, other than 15,000, 29,700 Liberian dollars are the actual salaries of our legislators. So what is about 29,000? It may be about what? $3,000-$4,000? $5,000? I don't know. Okay, so they're getting 29,000 plus Liberian dollars. Then for special allowances, he said they're getting bus pass. The guys are gonna bus pass. You know, Liberian officials, you gotta wear or holy, and the buses we got in Liberia. So this is another fleecing of the wealth of our country. If you're giving the people free car, why are you giving them bus pass? Is this America? Where in Liberia people using bus pass or bus tickets, whatever they call it? You see the corruption? These people are rogues. Then besides that, they get 10,000 US dollars allowances. 10,000 plus the bus ticket. Okay, so they got bus ticket. I don't know whether that what Darius Dillon says. He's going to look into that because he doesn't know what bus ticket mean, but they're getting money for it. Okay, then they're getting 10,000 down. That's just for special allotment. Then for gas, they get raw cash, $2,150. Then the net salary, after you deduct all one more thing, they got transportation reimbursement. The people stealing, you get a people car, gas. So what is the transportation reimbursement? What were we reimbursing them for? For riding the car? For getting free gas? They getting bus ticket and transportation reimbursement. That's $3,175 to 200 legislators who got cars, $40,000 cars on the government, and still getting bus ticket, transportation allotment, almost $5,000. Can you imagine this? These ignorant people are rogues. That's why they don't want to tell nobody their salary. Everybody asks one person 8,000, the next person 6,000, and they know it's all a freaking dirty, useless lie. To damn rogue and Zogos running the legislature of the Republic of Liberia. Stealing. Then after all that free money, they give them their net salary comes to 12,000 US dollars. Damn it. The people are ripping our country off. They are ripping Liberia off. How long can these native, slum, dumb idiots outsmart the educated men and women of Liberia? Got all of them like rogues and useless people following the fucking preacher. Can you imagine that? In Liberia, we got native rogues, smarter and educated Liberians of all walks of life. That what? Martin Colley can't stay in Liberia. They run him off. They will kill him. He's too smart for most Liberians. Look at Martin Colley economics and Sam Colley and Sam Jackson economics. Sam Jackson economics That's our tax economics. When you listen to Martin, you know the man's economy. You know, we like to promote all kind of Baba D people. You know, so that's it. My take on this. The stealing, it's just too much. The stealing is too much, and we need Darren Dillon back in the legislature. Rise up, go to the polls, and vote for Darius Dillon. Because if he's the only representative in the Republic of Liberia, the senator can come out and tell the Liberian people the true salaries of these useless criminal Zogo lawmakers we have. He needs to lead Liberia. He just need to move George where I even put a board there right now. He got my support. Okay? So that massive stealing or fleecing from the Liberian people continues. All kind of rogues coming to power and demonstrating that they are smarter than the Liberian people. That they can come from anywhere and bamboozle Liberian people because 95% of our people can't read and write. It's not the pride of a nation. Okay? So if like I was watching another kids show and he said there was a guest on it who was saying if Liberian people want to continue living with no money in the bank, vote for T5. If Liberian people want to continue living in a system where the money from the greatest nation of the world is worthless in Liberia, vote for T5. If Liberian people, justice removed without justice. Justice Jana, Mohammed Jana was impeached, one of the highest men in the courts of the Republic of Liberia. The legislature, the chief judge, ordered them gang up with him to impeach him. Damn. Has it ever happened in our history? All you history buffs? Then after they impeached the man look at these idiots. I said, I will show you your idiots. I will show you ain't nothing but rogues. I will show you that there is law in Liberia. And we are, excuse me, we are a nation of laws. And people just can't come and disrespect our officials, our nation, try to break it down. We can't continue to follow the kind of people. Okay? He also said, if you want to live in a society where 3 children are missing, the government can't account for them. The government do not have the resources or do not want to look for these children. The family got to go out and find evidence and investigate their own case for their family member who died or missing or kidnapped or being captured for body parts. We don't know. This is the fucking preacher. This is the rain. Okay? So, if you want to live in a country where they can kill your auditors who checking on your money, making sure that your leaders are honest and sincere, if you want them to keep killing those people, vote for Tifa. The other man said, that's not my words. I'm just telling you what people saying. But it's true. It's true. If we are putting his picture up everywhere with Fala, and Fala is in bed with we are has his stooge, and we are has bankrupt Liberia, killing Liberians, accused of all kind of insensitive crime, sucking titty, and all of that. If you want this kind of man that bring this kind of immorality, shame and disgrace on our country, sleeping with all his official wives, impregnating them. This man, if y'all want this man and his followers and boys to continue leading Liberia, vote for T5. Okay? I'm finished with that point too. Let's go to my second lesson. Let me put it up so we can see where we're going with the second lesson. Because this kind of thing going on in our country, somebody gotta let me know where we're going. Okay? Freezing of Liberia's wealth continues unabated. Unabated means we're all stopping. The jail can't stop it. Can't put no gate on it. Can't put no barrier to stop it. Because our leaders and the masses of our people are used to corruption, are used to living on a substance of dishonesty, insincerity, deceitfulness, lies, and treachery. So we have been living on this system for too long. Corruption is a way of life in Liberia. If I'm lying, one person come here and say, Chesson, you're lying. Nobody can say that because that's the God honest truth. And something must be done to help our country, to help our people, to change from this life of massive stealing of things that they don't own, of things that belong to the people of Liberia. But because it's for the people, the fee is for you to take home into your private houses. That's what Dylan was talking again about the $40,000 car. If it's a mandate that everybody get it, why should we not get it too? And he said it. Everything he said was true. If you got entitled to 40,000 and you get that money and you only go buy car for 30,000, you got to give that money back, the excess money. You got to give that back to the government, or that stealing, that conversion, because you're not entitled to it. You're entitled to a car for a certain amount. And if you choose to buy a cheaper car that you will be compelled to pay for, you cannot keep the balance of the money because you bought a cheaper car. You can't say no. I will still pay. I will still pay the 40,000, but I can keep the money if I pay it. No, you can't do that. You got to give that money back because you keeping the money was not the purpose for which the money was allotted by the government of Liberia. So these are the issues of honesty we got to get out of, because Liberian people, everything they get in, they go buy a cheaper thing to keep the balance. I did. I used to do that too. I remember my father gave me some money to go buy something. I went to the store, crossed the deal with a Lebanese man. He sold me it for less. So I think I got like $20 extra. That was my father change. I took it and put it in my pocket. I didn't give it to him. Then the fully level man, when I called my pa and said, "Oh, your son came here and I gave him a nice price." I come with there, my pa standing there at the top of the stairs, asking me, "So you took my money?" I said, "Your money? What kind of money?" He said, and you went to the store to buy that thing for me? I said, yeah. He said, you pay less for it. I said, yeah. He said, what might change? I said, then I change that my money because I ran a D. You give me money to buy the thing. I cut my D. I got the thing for less. So why should I give you the cheese? My father was speechless. He just shook his head and said, you will learn. And I've learned. And plenty Liberians don't know that. Plenty Liberians think when you go give you money, you go across your D and get some change back, you can keep the change. You can't. Once that government give you money, that money for the government, whatever you do in your transaction and you don't pay the full cost for which you went to buy that thing, you gotta get the money back. You gotta give it back. You got to give it back. It's not yours. You know, in order to make that mistakes. I was thinking about something else on that line, but it just slipped my mind while I was talking. The thing corrupting, you know. We go and do things and we want to keep. Oh, yes, I got it. The same way how Ben and I, Uri, got that radio station, he and Charles Taylor. They got it because Ben and I, Uri, went on a mission for the Republic of Liberia. And he overheard talk of people wanting to bring a radio station in Liberia. And he volunteered to help them set it up and do everything. And when they wanted to pay him for his services, he said, no, give me share in the radio station. That is corruption. That true radio station is for Liberia. You can't go on a business deal for Liberia and hear about another opportunity. And instead of giving that opportunity to the Liberian people, you take it for yourself. You can't do that because you came to know about that opportunity through your service in the Liberian government. So anything you benefit from in the service of serving the Liberian government is for the Liberian government. Okay? So these are the things that matter. And when people, our poor people, don't know that these things matter, our country will stay corrupt forever. Because even the educated in Liberia don't know that when they send you to buy something and you cross a D and get extra money, that's not your money. So if our educated people don't know that, that further demonstrates the dishonesty of our society, of our leaders, of our people who are placed in positions of fiduciary positions or anything, positions of trust. Okay? So these are the things that have hurt us time and time again. We have to set these codes and follow them to the letter. We don't even talk about Ellen's code of conduct no more. So if the code of conduct is existing, how can we continue to exist without a clear path to restrain our dishonest, unknowing, corrupt behaviors? The code of conduct states it plainly what this government will accept and will not accept. So if we take these instrumentalities of our government and use them for our own benefits, we are still a nation of dishonest, untrustworthy, and deceitful people. Okay? So these are the things we need to check. These are the things we need to balance. And I hope that my show will focus on African Americans as well as Liberians who will bring to us a different perspective on leadership, on what it means to strive, to be progressive, to be competent, to be erudite in what we do, in how we plan and organize what is in our best interest. So that brings me to my third point. What's the plight of Liberia's youth? My young children, like everybody telling us, y'all can't keep being dancers and muya muya singers in Liberia. Your plight is for you. You have challenges. You have obstacles to overcome. Nothing is easy. Even if the government gave you money and provide the necessities for you and your people, you still have to be competent and wise to know how to use what you get to benefit yourself. Not just for today or tomorrow, but for time to come. You see, and Darius Dillon told you the same thing. He said, if we do everything for tomorrow, I can't plan to that. I plan for centuries, years down the road. That's vision. That's far thinking. Because of what you see right now, you can predict if things don't change in 50 years from now, we'll be sitting here with the same issues, with the same problem, because they were never resolved. So what's the plight of Liberia's youth? My young children, everything in life is a challenge. Nothing is easy. I keep telling you, nobody promised you a golden spoon. Nobody promised you a bed of roses. Nobody promised you that everything will be good and nice all your life. There are certain things that change your life overnight. Sometimes you have a bright future, your dad dies or has an accident. Sometimes your benefactor, something happened to them. People telling lies on you. Look at Will Smith show the other day. How he was talking to the lady who was his aunt on the Fresh Prince. And how he, in his young mind, he said some things, not realizing at the time he was a superstar, that every word came out of his mouth impacted the moneymakers, the producers, and everything because he was a moneymaker. So when he made some disparaging remarks about his aunt on the show, that destroyed her career. The white people changed her role, fire her, they start calling her problematic, mean, angry white woman, and all of that. You know when they start calling their dad, they're ready to cut you down. Her own family turned against her. And in his older age, he has come to realize that something happened between him and that woman. And he had to make it right. And that is a man. That is a man. To see Will Smith crying, regretting what he had done to destroy a person's life. And he had no knowledge about it. He didn't know he had done it until she kept telling him, you did it to me. You did this to me because of your action. That in his older age, with all his experience and things in the movie making industry, he reflected and said, yes, what I said hurt this woman. And now he's learning the real truth behind her suffering. Her own family didn't want her. Black people didn't want to deal with him, telling her you against Will Smith, and how she suffered all these years. Can't get a job nowhere because people term her an anchor woman. So Will brought closure to this, spoke with her. I hope he gave her a fat check too for all the problem he caused her. But I'm sure she got some fat check because you're on a show. You got to pay the actress. Okay, young people. But this is all to tell you nothing, nothing, nothing is promised to you. Your life can change overnight because of something that you didn't do at all. But people who love you and support you and care about you can die. And you'll be left with nobody. You'll be left with people who wouldn't give a think about you like your own people did. Or people who want to make sure they take all your inheritance before you can even have a shot at life. So it behooves you as young children to look at your future, to sit and think, what is the right path for me? How can I benefit from my life as a young man, as a striving African and Liberian man? Rise up, get conscious, look at your plight and your life, and decide whether you want to keep on the path. Until then, you can't change. Because before you change, you have to look at the man in the mirror. Aluta! Continua. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Attorney Commander J.R. Galpohkpa Chesson of the West African Republic of Liberia, class is done. Have a good day.